Hello and welcome to Keno Good Vibes Only, or Cringe Vibes, depends on how you see it. Today we are going to be doing an art experiment or art exercise, and it's something that I do when I first started painting. I do this a lot because I want to learn, and it's kind of like a window to what were they thinking when they created an artwork. And at first, when I was younger, my mom would just ask me or teach me how to paint a simple landscape or seascape. And then when I grew older, I discovered Les Fauves. I kind of liked how Duran used colors when he painted a seascape where the colors were out of this world, and so I tried to copy how they painted, and it was kind of fun because they were like breaking the rules. It was so different from what the normal painting is during that time, and it was really fun. So it started from there, and I tried to copy and learn from other artists as well. And I have also this book that my mom gave me where it's very comprehensive. It has a little bit of art history, a little bit of painting, a little bit of drawing, and all of that. And as a teenager who's really into art, I kind of just took it all in. And one of the artists in that book, and the very first few pages, is Rothko. And today we are gonna be doing Rothko. And Rothko is notorious for painting his feelings, so that's what we're gonna do. And today I'm kind of like under the weather. I've been under the weather lately, so I kind of feel blue and dark. So I kind of mixed red and blue with solvent, with turpentine, and we're gonna start with that. We're gonna paint in layers. The first time I saw Rothko and in that art book, I thought just like the rest of the people, like a kid would be able to paint a Rothko painting. But as I grow older, as I have seen Rothko paintings up close and personal, you have to like look at a Rothko painting maybe 12 inches away from your face for you to feel it and for you to see the painting. And I am wrong. It cannot be painted by a kid. But the painting, his paintings where he used paper and acrylic or oil with paper, it might be easy for kids to do it, but the intention and how he expressed the colors and emotions using paint, it's gonna be hard for a kid to do it because it's just hard to explain. I mean, it's kind of easy for you to see the technique on how he painted on the paper because you can see the brushstrokes, but if you look at his canvases, it's hard to see the brushstrokes. And because I don't see the brushstrokes from his most recent color field paintings, I am basically just painting on what I think it should be. Like right now I'm painting on left to right, up and down, on layers until I find the right colors that I feel like, because I am really feeling down when I started this painting, so I want it to be dark, like in the dungeon dark. So when I started with red and blue, after a while, after a few layers, I added a little bit of black, and then after a few coating, I added a little bit more of red. So basically waited for each layer to kind of dry down a little bit, just a little bit. There's no linseed oil or any oil medium added. It's mostly turpentine, and turpentine dries quicker than linseed oil. But it's not fully dry, but I just want to work on it every few hours until I find the right colors. And then I kind of let it dry for a day, which is still not completely dry. For it to be kind of dry for you to work on it, it has to be like 5 days. And for it to be really dry, it's like 6 months and a year for it to be really dry for you to put like varnish on top of your oil painting. Yeah, so I think I'm not the only one who feels really down lately because, you know, the pandemic, and then we have this crazy tyrant killing people in Ukraine. And then we have a dictator's son running for the president in the Philippines, and apparently he has a lot of supporters, which is weird because he's a convicted tax evader and he owes the Filipino people 203 billion in taxes. And also, every time I open the news, I always see these horrible pictures from Ukraine, and it's just very depressing. But despite of everything, we still have to keep going on, and right about now, I'm just using a dry brush and a little bit of white paint over the surface, just keep scratching it. It kind of gives an effect of airbrush, and it kind of like vibrates very smooth. And I'm just setting up a couple of color field that I think I'm gonna be using for this painting, and I'm just gonna let it dry for now, and then after another day this is after another day. I think this one I just got off from work, still wearing my scrubs. I kind of like added a little bit more white. I kind of like want to lighten it up a little bit, and then after that we're gonna be painting more blue. This is cobalt blue. I'm gonna mix white and a little bit of blue violet color, which is like ultramarine. All of these cool colors, they kind of like make you feel sad and blue and kind of serene, or it depends. It's very subjective. It depends on the person. Usually cooler colors like this is kind of like calming or sad, and then warmer colors like yellow and orange is kind of like happy and intense or angry. I read somewhere that Rothko thinks red, yellow, and orange are the colors of hell, and somebody was asking him to paint with color fields of those colors, but for me, those colors remind me of like sunset, or after this, sunflowers. And some of these colors also recede or advance, and usually the cooler colors and sad colors like this, they kind of like recede, and warmer colors and brighter colors usually just punch you in the face. So it also has that kind of feeling to it. So right now I kind of diluted the purple, the blue violet. It's almost like a light blue color with a little bit of turpentine, and I kind of painted it flat on the upper color field. And for the lower color field, it's gonna be inspired by the sunflower grandma. It would be hard for me to use these happy colors if I'm not inspired by something. So I'm gonna be using the sunflower grandma, who tried to give sunflower seeds to the Russian soldiers in Ukraine. She said for them to put the sunflower seeds in their pockets, so when they die, it would at least grow, maybe use them as plant food. So I used a regular yellow and I mixed it with white to make a lemon yellow, and then another color, Indian yellow. You can use yellow orange. Indian yellow is like yellow orange, and then I kind of mix a little bit of lemon yellow to it, and it kind of like gives you the hue of your typical sunflower. So the upper color feed looks kind of perfect because I used turpentine. It's too perfect for me. I'm gonna do something about it. The lower color field, I kind of want it to look rough and crazy because that was just the vibe of an angry grandma telling people to stay away from her own country. And grandma's energy is just so inspiring. It gives me a lot of happiness. It's kind of sad, but her energy is very inspiring. And that's what this lower color field does. And you see, this is a warm, bright color that just punch you in the face, and it's kind of like an uppercut. Also, when it comes to applying paint, we're using fat over lean method where the oil content of the paint that you put on top of your painting is higher than the ones at the bottom. So the ones at the bottom were more diluted by turpentine. It's not about the thickness of the paint, it's about the content, the oil content. That's why it's called fat over lean. So towards the end, we end up painting the Ukrainian flag, but if you look closely, there's just the colors just remind you of other things. Like, look at this color, it reminds you of like a sunrise or a sunset. It depends on what you see or what you have seen, and it's just really fun to do Rothko. Sometimes you would see Rothko paint blacks, but it's actually dark purple mixed with a wash of green. And you know, as I've said before, the upper color feel is kind of like perfect, and I don't think that's natural, or I don't think that's normal. So we're kind of like gonna lift some of the colors. We're gonna put turpentine on a tissue paper or a rag, and we're gonna lift some of those colors. We're gonna kind of like give it a little bit of vibration and a little bit of action. This has been a fun art activity, art experiment, and thank you guys for watching this. And of course, after doing it, you kind of like sign it wherever you like, and you have to like let it dry before you varnish your painting. It should take 6 months to a year before you varnish oil painting. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Once again, please like, comment, and subscribe. See you later. Bye bye. Thanks for watching the vlog.